Two nearly identical trips through the Badlands National Park and surrounding areas. One over Memorial Day weekend and one over Labor Day weekend. But which is the best time to visit? Let's start off with the weather. Temperatures are usually lower in the late spring than they are in the late summer. We experienced that with an almost 20-degree cooler day over the Memorial Day weekend. The thing that may rain on your parade, or trip, will be the, well, rain. The park will certainly see more rain in the spring than in the late summer. And while I did see rain on both trips, the storm we drove through in the spring was much more intense. There is a benefit to a lot of rain in the spring though. The vegetation comes to life. Green stretches out as far as the eye can see in the plains, and in the Badlands themselves, the green of the plants lay in contrast to the almost desert feel of the park, not to mention the wildflowers found at each stop and overlook. In comparison, the summer trip's vegetation seemed to add to the arid feel of the Badlands, with an overall palette of brown. Don't get me wrong, the Badlands are an amazing experience either way, but on weather, the spring trip takes the cake. Another place we saw a large contrast in the plant life between the two trips was in the Black Hills. Though the overall feel of this national forest was the same, the difference was very evident. We visited the same waterfall both trips along the Spearfish Scenic Drive, and while the waterfall was almost magical the way it flowed through the green plant life in the spring, to the point it looked manicured and managed, during the Labor Day trip, the plants had turned brown and overgrown a little bit too. Still pretty, but not as magical for me, so for the Black Hills Forest, spring is going to be the win for that one too. A quick note about the wildlife activity. It was about the same for both trips, making neither a better time for a visit. So the other difference we saw in the two trips is crowd level. While both trips saw a fair number of people, both being over 3-day holiday weekends, the crowds were noticeably larger in the spring, and though you could certainly get away from them, the stores and visitor centers were crowded, and the lookout parking lots were much fuller, and it was harder to find parking spots in some of them. The crowds held true for Mount Rushmore as well. While there was still a crowd during the Labor Day trip, it was far smaller, and it was much easier to find your way through the gift shop. So in crowd level, Labor Day is the winner. So there you have it. For me, the best time to visit was late spring. The wildflowers and the temperatures were simply better, and even though springtime would be my favorite time to return, I will definitely be back the first chance I get to camp in this region. Hey, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and tune in for future adventures.